Anxious flyer? No problem. Hi, I'm Graham Wilson, and welcome to the superpilotish channel. I'll be talking to you today from my basement about something that everybody goes through, and it's just a little bit of anxiety before you go flying. And yeah, so I was in preparation for this. I was looking at. Like searching through to see like a really good article like through Google searching and stuff like that, and all I was coming up with was anxiety disorder, and oh, it's a mental problem, what kind of medication do you need? And I'm like, no. It's like, what the heck, what are they doing here, like I was under the impression all the time that anxiety is just, it's an emotional thing. I mean, we kind of discussed this in a psychology class years ago that I was in, and yeah, so anxiety is, it's kind of like a stress level, and it's an emotion. Is something that is defined as an emotion is something that's measurable by using a detecting various hormones that get released, and uh, things that get. It's a physiological response is an emotion. So when you're when you're a little bit anxious, that is something that's actually measurable. So but it's just an emotion. It's like, oh, I'm happy today. Oh, I'm sad today. Oh, whatever. So it's kind of like when I was looking for this on with Google searching, it's like, okay, I'll just go back to what I remembered from back in the day. So yeah, so anxiety, it's the emotion that's caused by it's the fear of the unknown is really what it is. And usually it's fear of the unknown, and usually something that you kind of don't have control over. It's not I didn't write that when I was doing the test in my psychology class, but yeah, that's roughly what it is. And I haven't really heard anyone ever talk about that, even when I was training to be a flight instructor. Just excuse me a second. I'm gonna adjust my microphone here. Oh, check it out, the back of my microphone. Okay, hey, there we go. So that's a little bit better. Yeah. So the emotion of anxiety, it's measurable, and oh yeah, they do talk about emotion a little bit when you're learning how to be a flight instructor, and but it's usually more the emotions that you can get from students when you're teaching them how to fly. So that's covered in the flight instructor guide in Canada. But yeah, there's not a whole lot out there about anxiety. And I was teaching this one surgeon how to fly once, and I was really surprised to hear from him. He's like, "Oh, I'm a little anxious about flying today, but that's okay. I just know that anxiety is the fear of the unknown." And I was like, well, this guy knows this. Well, he's a surgeon. He's a pretty smart guy. And he said, yeah, he tells that to all of his. He's kind of like a training surgeon, so that when he'll get new medical students, and they're with him the first time they're actually cutting somebody open. So I mean, yeah, you're going to be anxious about that. Yeah, so it's like it's kind of cool if someone else knows about that. It's just fear of the unknown. And I get that too when I'm flying as a passenger on like a taking a flight, I don't know, like a jet, or a Dash 8 or a Q400, some jet where I'm a paying passenger. I'm not actually flying the plane. I'm the passenger like everyone else, sitting in the back. And well, because I'm a pilot, I like, wow, cool, we're going up in the air, and I don't even have to do anything. I just get to sit back and enjoy the ride. But as soon as we get on the like we taxi out, go on the runway, and I'm like, oh, here we go. We're gonna be giving her the coals. And then everything spools up and gets louder and shakier. And I'm looking out the window. I always try to get a window seat because get the best view. And then I'm like, yeah, this is cool. And then we go and go, and because these those planes that go, they take off a lot faster than the little ones that I'm used to. I'm like, oh, we should be getting off the runway here. No, we got more to go. And then, oh, my anxiety is going up because I don't know what they're doing in the cockpit. Like, I know these guys are, guys, girls, like they're totally, totally trained. Like, I know people that do that. And so it's kind of silly for me to feel that anxiety, but even I do that. So it's totally natural to be anxious when you're flying the plane a little bit because you're not in control. Like I'm not in control. And but I just tell myself, yeah, they know what they're doing. And I also know in the airlines they have all these rules and procedures and training and protocols that as far as the decision making and like everything that has to do with it, there's a whole system there backing up the pilots in the front and making everything safer. So like, okay, I can tell myself that, but I have that knowledge, right? So the my anxiety level would be lower because I actually it's not fear of the unknown at that point. I know what they're doing. They're not, I mean, I can't see them holding on to the controls, but I know everything, and I can tell myself in my head, okay, oh, there's all this stuff going on there. Yeah, this should be fine. Then we take off, and one thing you might notice when you take off, okay, maybe you got some anxiety going there. You're going to hear like a clunk clunk, and that's the landing gear coming up and locking into place underneath the plane. Totally fine to hear a little clunk clunk when you after you take off. So yeah, and then I was always when I used to fly, I did a lot of sightseeing flights, and so in like a really tiny plane, a little Cessna 172. So it's you're right there, and I found it was the people might start off a little bit anxious. Oh, I've never been in a little airplane before, or oh, I haven't. I flew when I was a kid, but I don't know about this. Boy, that's a small plane. Actually, got that one a lot. Actually, from the kids, they get in the back seat and they go, "Huh, where's the screen?" Because all their minivans have screens, I guess. But no, you got to look out the window, kid. Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, the so I always try to just educate the people a little bit, and I found that worked great. You just bring their stress level right down because now you're eliminating that unknown, and you're kind of canceling out all their fears. Like, okay, how much? I say, okay, I checked out the airplane. We got lots of oil and lots of gas in it, and they're like, oh, how much gas does this use? They're thinking, oh, are you going to run out of gas? And it's like, well, if we're really good, we could probably fly to Kingston right now, but we're just going around the city. And they're like, oh, okay, we can make it all the way to Kingston. Not worried about the gas. Boom, you can see their stress level go right down. And I do that for like kind of explain what I'm doing. Now, unfortunately, if you're in a big jet, they can't be telling you everything that they're doing. But if you wanted to eliminate some of that anxiety, like beforehand, you could check out YouTube videos, but don't watch all these stupid crash videos. Like YouTube's gonna fire all these crash videos at you. Don't watch them. It's it's terrible. Uh, I know, like I don't. Pilots have this kind of weird, little kind of. It's not perverse, but it's kind of like we love watching crashes because we know. Oh, okay, I can learn from that. I can learn from that. I can learn from that. But you can, yeah, watching too much of that, even for pilots, it's not good because you're watching too much of it. I know. Just when I was back at Sioux College, I know a guy. We went to Transport Canada came to do a safety seminar, and so all the aviation students were in there, and they started off at the beginning. And I don't know who made up this Transport Canada's safety seminar, but all there was just like crash after crash after crash at the beginning. And we're like, I thought this is a safety seminar, man, And then they started talking about all these crashes and crashes and crashes. And I ended up walking home with this one guy, and he was like, I don't know if I want to be a pilot anymore. Like it just, I don't know, some kind of weird desensitization or something like that. But anyways, it's yeah, Seferdine Squibb says fear mongers. I don't know, maybe there's some like the people from Transport Canada were just, I don't know, yeah, fear mongers. Let's see how much we can scare these kids. But yeah, don't watch too much of that. What you could do is watch YouTube videos where watching them come in perfect smooth landing. Like look at the good stuff and put the good media and the good pictures in your head. I've taught I've taught students where they would, or they were never. I never allowed cameras in the cockpit when I was teaching, but some instructors will do that. And there's been a couple students where, oh, I want to get my GoPro here and I want to record the whole flight, and then so they're brand new, so they're going to make a bunch of mistakes, and then they go home and they watch this on YouTube over and over and over again, or watch it. Watch their movies that they took with their GoPro, and they're just like reinforcing all these bad mistakes that they made. And then they go flying and they wouldn't improve because they're training their brain to do that bad thing. So put good things in your brain about flying, and that's one thing you can do to eliminate the what you don't know. And if you do have any questions about that, feel free to come by Monday, Wednesday, Friday here, and at noon Eastern, and you can ask me a question anytime you want if you see this, or you could leave a comment below. I'll get back to you. Send me an email, superpilotish@gmail.com. So yeah, it's I really like it, helping people get over their fears of flying. Now I could do that with a little airplane. Oh, okay, I'll give you another little example. One of these things that everyone's always afraid of is like, oh, do we have enough runway? Are we going to fly off the end of the, enough runway? Well, here in Windsor, I mean, we got gigantic runways here with these little planes. So I don't know, you could tell when we line up to take off, they were kind of a little antsy, and, so I just say, okay, and I would say, okay, you see those 4 lights up there on the left? That's about where we're going to be taking off. So we got lots of runway here today. And yeah, so once we get going up to about highway speed, then the wings become effective right around those 4 red lights, and then we'll just be up in the air. And then oh, boom, stress level goes right down. So, if you're wondering about runway length, all these pilots that are flying the big jets and everything, they calculate all that stuff, all their numbers, and surprisingly, it's amazing how these engineers come up with these numbers and they work. It's like their job or something. But yeah, it's all the calculations that you do according to the book, they all work out, really, really pretty consistently. And so they calculate all these stuff for the big jets, so there's always enough runway length. And for takeoff and landing. And so, what do we got here? We got another little Mona Moore's back again. Probably not the best strategy to deal with anxiety, but I always tell myself, hey, I've had a good life. If I die, I die. Well, I guess that's one way of doing it. But yeah, I don't. I usually pilots usually don't talk about like crashes and dying and stuff. But yeah, you can talk statistically about how safe airline. That's what I wanted to have a little different take on. This was that not so much statistically, it's more dangerous driving to the airport than it is flying to Los Angeles. And statistically, that's true, and that's kind of one of the things where pilots are pretty by the number, by the book. It's kind of hands-on, cerebral, not so much like oh, look at the beautiful sky today. They'd be like, the ceiling is exactly 15,000 feet adequate. They're kind of like that. So yeah, so when it comes to the emotional side of things, which is what anxiety is, yeah, most pilots aren't really into that too much. So that's why this video is a little bit different. I'd like to think anyways. So okay, so that's about it. Oh, okay, one more other thing I'll talk to you about: turbulence. Okay, turbulence is you're probably going to hear all kinds of you can do Google searches on turbulence, and you're going to scare yourself again. Somebody's got a shaky phone or something like that. Oh my God, nearly died. It's like, no. Turbulence is the airplanes are designed to handle a lot of, like, they can take a lot. like they'll like basically never break. Like you'll see the wings bouncing and stuff like that, but that's normal. They're engineered to do that. It's just like you see a tree. You see a tree, it's blowing and blowing in a big storm, and might lose a little branch or something like that. Even in a tornado, it could be like it just loses a little branch, but they can be uprooted, but they don't really snap over that much or snap off that much. So that's the way the wings are designed. If you ever do see I think there's a video out there, Airbus A380 destructive wing testing, and they bend this wing like 90 degrees before it snaps. And like they have these big hydraulic pushers there, and it's like bang, like they just don't break. They'll bend, and by the time they bend like that, aerodynamically, it slows the plane down, and it makes it so that it can't go any faster to break it. So up to a certain point. So, anyways, or the plane will stall, and then but I don't want to get too technical on you. But don't worry about turbulence. It's the same thing as being on a you're on a big ship, and you're on a cruise ship. You're going to feel the cruise ship going back and forth. If you're on a little fishing boat, you're going to be all over the place. Same thing with an airplane. And if you're in a little airplane, you're in the little fishing boat. If you're in a big jet, you're on the cruise liner. So if you do want a little smoother ride, the bigger the plane, the smoother ride it's going to be. And or if you take a plane that's flying at night, it'll be a little bit smoother. Or first thing in the morning, it's pretty good. The bumpiest, most turbulent part of the day is like right around noon. So okay, that's about it for today. So what I'd like to kind of summarize with, just kind of do a little summary here, that, okay, anxiety is like fear of the unknown, and usually something that you don't have any control over. But where you can do is you do have control over what you put in your brain, what as you educate yourself a little bit more, your fear level will go down, because it's not fear of the unknown, because you're eliminating all those unknowns. So your anxiety will go down. So little tip for you. And like I say, anytime you got any questions, come on back to Super Pilotish, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern. And and we got one more question here. So drugs and alcohol aren't the best way to deal with the anxiousness then? Well, to a point. I hate to be honest there, but a little, a couple of drinks will calm your nerves a little bit, but take that with kind of take that with a little grain of salt. And I don't recommend it, because if you get too hammered and there's an actual emergency, then you're stumbling trying to get out of the exit, and that doesn't help anybody out. And you might get kicked off the flight too if you're too drunk. But oh well, I'm not going to lie to you that a couple of drinks will bring your anxiety down. And I really don't like people taking pills or anything like that. I've seen them do that, heard of it. In an I would think in an emergency situation, you'll be kind of spaced out, or you'll be too complacent. Oh, plane's on fire. Oh, what ups? I don't care. Hey, I'm flying. Hey, no, I wouldn't do that. But yep, Sefronine's good. A couple of drinks, wouldn't hurt. But anyways, that's just okay. What else? I'm not going to talk about boozing too much. Boozing and flying does not make, and if you're the pilot, definitely not. I forgot to mention that. So okay, so you can if you want to leave a question or anything like that, feel free, leave a comment. I'll get back to you. Email me if you want. And anyways, anxiety, educate yourself a little bit. No problem. You got it. Okay, so have a great day. We're going to shut her down. And thank you for watching. Bye now. Oh, wait. You'd think I get that by now. Bye.